What's going on, people? Yo, it's D-Merle. You know I had to talk about these championship games, right? AFC and NFC Championship, and I'm just not leaving Buffalo Wild Wings, but I just wanted to jump online real quick. I'm going to be honest. Awesome games. Both games. But I got to elaborate. Let's start with the Rams and the New Orleans Saints first. Okay, first of all, that game was nip and tuck, and I kind of expected it to be that way. I'm going to be honest. To start off with, I seen Jared Goff and how we'll talk about the Rams. Jared Goff, actually, he wasn't settled in. I didn't like some of him, how he was reading his progressions and his connections and things like that. And they were a little bit shaky on establishing the run, which is what their base is. And even with Gurley being out, they still had the other running back in that was still giving them good burn. And so they opened up, and really pretty much, again, after halftime, I think things settled in. I think they start realizing, okay, hey, these are the bright lights. These are the but you know what? We got to make this thing happen. We got to get back in this. And so they started fighting the way they should, right? And so all I do know is that when the controversy comes in about, let's skip all the way to the fourth quarter, right? Oh, man, that wasn't pass interference. Well, actually, it wasn't. Anytime you have a cornerback or any defender running over with his back turned to the receiver, no, you didn't even overlook your head. You didn't even turn your head at all. You didn't position your body in the air to make a play on the ball, to deflect it or intercept it. That's not what you did at all. You ran directly into, head first, the receiver. Now that's supposed to be a flag. Now they'll be inside the red zone. Matter of fact, they would have been at the 9-yard line, first and goal. That's what would have happened. And Drew Brees. Now granted, I picked actually the Rams to win this game. But I didn't like the way it ended, because now you got people that's able to say that, hey, the refs handed it to them. And the refs did put themselves in the game. This is what they love to do. This is what they love to do. But I was mad at the Rams right before that play, guys, when you're right there and you're at the 2-yard line. I think it was second or third down. But even if it was fourth down, it didn't matter. It's a couple minutes left in regulation. Run the ball. So when Timothy McVay, head coach of the Rams, when he elected to take a field goal, I was pissed. What are you doing? We're trying to win. If you don't seal the deal now, or put as many points as you can, because they still could have had time to, obviously, Breeze and the Saints had time to put more points on the board. But your job in that moment is to get as much points on the board as possible. This is all or nothing right now. Next week, we on vacation. Let's get the kids packed up. Where are we going? We going to San Tropez? We going to Santa Marcus? Where are we going next week? If we don't win, you do it all. So that pissed me off. Then what happened that next play, and I didn't agree with it, and I wanted the Rams to win, but not that way. So, of course, that call happens, and from there, it shifts that whole thing. Rams come out with the win. Okay, a lot of I'm down here in Houston, Texas, so you know you got a lot of Saints fans. I see them all the time. I'm in Buffalo Wild Wings with them all the time, stuff like that. And they good people. But they were very, who that nation? Very, very, very upset this evening. Now let's get to AFC Championship Game. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots against the young, fiery, electric, new, fresh quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. This kid is special. Listen, I haven't seen nothing like him in a long time. Yes, you had RG3 that came in and had high expectations. Did good for his rookie year. Yes, you had Cam Newton, who came in and he's a big body prototype, solid running back. They use him as a running back. Quarterback. You've had multiple guys. Even in this year's draft not last year's drafts with with Patrick Mahomes, you had Deshaun Watson, who's down here with the Texans. He's got a lot of promise too. He really does. My boy Gino, he always think I hate on him or whatever because I don't like the Texans. But I do like that kid. I like Deshaun. I really do. But Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. This kid is going to be the new, and I've heard analysts say it, he is going to be the new face of the NFL. Seriously. I don't know if next year or the year after that he'll get the baton handed over, because as much as Tom Brady think he just going to keep on playing, I don't care if he go to the Super Bowl and win again. If he keep thinking he's going to play for the next 3 to 5 years, no, you're not. You about to retire. You're going to have to. And something's going to start breaking down. You already have gotten slower. But again, Bill Belichick is such a whiz. His scheming and this dude he's something else. You give him time to prepare for you. I don't care if it's just a week or whatever. What he's going to do is he's taking something away from you. If you got 3 or 4 different weapons and options, he want to at least get 1 or 2 of those and take them away. Beat me with everybody else. If you only got 1 or 2 options, he may take both of them away or one of them and beat me with everybody else. And a lot of times, a lot of teams, they're in trouble. But going into the game, the Chiefs game. So Chiefs come out and they're flat. And I'm looking at these guys. I'm looking at body language. I'm looking at everything. And you know what? The lights were a little bit too bright initially. They were a little bit too bright. And they had to settle in. But I put that on Andy Reid. Get these players, get them settled. And play your game. Now defense. Initially, first half, they did exactly what they've been doing all year. Not playing quality defense. But something happened at halftime. It was 14-0. Patriots was up. They couldn't move the ball. Chiefs wasn't getting first down. All that. We seen it. You seen it. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. But I didn't panic. They went to that locker room. Came back. And immediately, what does Patrick Mahomes do? Walk down that field, 70, 80 yards? Touchdown. Bam. I said, here we go. And then guess what the defense started doing? Defense, that defensive line, them big boys, them big meat and potato boys up in the middle. Even though initially, Patriots was pounding the ball. They started stopping it, slowing that down. They started getting to Tom Brady. Even if they didn't tackle him, they got back in there. They was getting in his face. A couple times they wrapped him up. They end up getting it, and what happens? They end up getting, going into the end of the third quarter, fourth, they start getting, they got a tip, interception. Tom Brady had 2 interceptions this game tonight. And that defensive line started putting so much pressure, and they started doing their thing. And even a couple of the linebackers, number 52, and I can't think of his name offhand, he started making some serious plays as well. Now again, the D-backs, they were disappointing all game. I mean, half of the defensive 11 that came out there for the Chiefs in the second half, they was doing their thing. Real talk. They came up and they started making some plays. Those D-backs, cornerbacks and safety, they pissed me off the whole entire game. But they've been doing it all season. So somebody was calming me down that, hey, whoa. Come on, D. They've been doing this all season. So you got to kind of hope that the offense helps with the defense, which is true. But they start making some key plays and and things like that. And had a couple turnarounds. And then Patrick Mahomes he settled in that second half, like I said, and he turned into the Patrick Mahomes that we seen all season. And everybody kind of thought it was a fluke. Everybody, well, he's throwing it with his sidearm. Listen, this kid is special. He mixes baseball with football. That's what he does, which he used to be a baseball player, obviously. But nobody ever has done it to that extent. We got quarterbacks that do the sidearm, but not like him. It's different with him. So I was happy. I was confident. I liked what I started seeing, like I just said, from that defense and what they were doing on offense into that fourth quarter. They took the lead and it was a couple controversial calls that started happening. Holding calls and offsides. All these out of nowhere calls start happening towards that middle of that fourth quarter. I said, here we go. Refs, stay out of this. I mean, if it's something extremely blatant, yes, call it. But don't sit there and make up like that last call that really turned some things around in the game, even though the Chiefs still came back and tied it and took it to overtime. But before that controversial call where, yeah, it was an offsides call. You get a ball, you take the whole momentum out of the Chiefs, out of their hands. And so they had to fight their way back in it. Defense came up big. That's when they made that, it was a tip, made that pick. Came up big. And it put the Patriots in a situation where they had to score. And so what happens? Patriots do what they do. I mean, Brady is the GOAT, no question. I should have said that right from the start as soon as I started this video, y'all. Tom Brady is definitely the greatest quarterback. But we gotta add a hyphen with that statement. He's the greatest quarterback that's paired with and also helped him with his accomplishments. And that is Bill Belichick. The guy's a wizard. Simple as that. He's a wizard. Like I said, he's taking away some of your weapons. And he's gonna scheme and do things you didn't see in this scenario. Situational football. He's a master at that. It's just crazy. And it's just when overtime came in that game, like I said, I don't like some of the controversial call, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to hear all of it. And I want y'all to make your comments at the bottom of this. I want you to hit the like button, and I want you to share and express yourself on what y'all thoughts are on these games. But I don't want to go too much on a rant on the whole ref thing. I'm just pointing out what happened and what I did see and how I truly do feel. They did insert themselves in both games. I just firmly believe, and like I said, back to Brady. He is the GOAT. It's just no question about it. His legacy didn't get identified by this game. This didn't solidify him. It added to his legacy, but it didn't solidify him. Now, once they got to overtime and the Patriots won that coin toss, honestly, I knew the game was over. The Chiefs needed to win that coin toss because Mahomes needed to get them, and he would have did it. Mahomes needed to get them downfield and score. He wouldn't have went for a field goal. He would have scored, and that would have been it. The Patriots didn't need to do that because now you're still putting it and keeping this outcome in the defense's hands. And they did a good job. They stepped up. They made some plays in that fourth quarter. And to me, between that third and fourth quarter, I think that the defense and offense and special teams that scored that touchdown, how did I forget about that? Picked that ball up and scored on a touchdown. That was big time. That was big time. So you have special teams, defense, and the offense in that second half. They honestly did, if I had to do a scale from 1 to 99, I'm giving the Chiefs 97% things that they did right to qualify them to really win that game. But when you have some calls that come along, and when you have Brady, because he's the greatest, he is. And when you have Belichick that's scheming, and they can walk down that field. Remember, these are the same Patriots team that came back from 25 points down here in Houston. This is the same Patriots team that actually last year went toe-to-toe, and they almost, by one possession and a Hail Mary, to the end zone, and Gronkowski didn't catch it, against Nick Foles, backup quarterback, The Philadelphia Eagles. They came that close from winning that again. This is who we talking about here. So there's no shame in this loss for the Chiefs. And by the way, that whole roster with the Chiefs, none of them playoff experience. And here they were in the AFC Championship game, a play and overtime and possession away from taking a trip to the Super Bowl. Andy Reid. I was happy with the adjustments that you made in that second half, but it was too slow, and it should have been right off the rip in the first half. You needed to come out there. That defense needed to make some plays, and y'all needed to get on offense. And when you were on offense in that first half, you got to go for broke and do what you've been doing all game long, all these games in the regular season that got you here. And you was holding back and everything else. You opened it up, and everybody settled in, and you said whatever you needed to say in that locker room for them to settle in after the half. I don't like that part. That's my grade for you, Andy Reid, my grade for you. I give you a B, almost B minus. Because if you did a couple things earlier on, maybe they would have been up a score to where you had the Patriots by 6 points. And even with what they did, we didn't have an overtime. Even with that couple of those crazy controversial calls, that happened. We can act like we didn't see him or know him and all that stuff. Those turnovers that happened in that last, all we got to do is go back and rewatch the highlights from the second half and just start watching from the third quarter and then definitely mostly all the fourth quarter, and we'll see them all there. But I got to hold you accountable, Andy Reid, for not getting the guys going earlier. They needed to be lit up. This is their first rodeo. Your 20th season, Andy Reid. But I give you a B minus. In spite and having said all of that I just said about both games and all four teams, they actually were great games. But here's the part that I'm scared of and I don't like. When I start thinking about the league and start thinking about the politics, and I start thinking about how they put their hands in things, and I start thinking about how things are done based off of revenue generation. Let's keep this real. Let's keep it all the way funky, people. Things are done based off of money, financial, the bottom line. And also things is done based off how much cachet you got. You don't have enough cachet where you're going to get favor sometimes in these situations. That could be the difference between you not having that opportunity. I'll make another video. I'm going to wait a couple days to really mull it over and think about it on my predictions for the Super Bowl and who do I think is going to win. Is it going to be the LA Rams or once again New England Patriots? I just hope in this game we have a good game. I don't care if it comes down to the wire and go back into overtime like this game did. Chiefs and Patriots. But what I don't want is a bunch of bad calls, refs getting involved, and all of that stuff. Yes, it's going to happen, a call here or there. But I don't want to see that all game long. And I don't want to see it at the end of regulation when the game is near the end of regulation, last 6-7 minutes in the fourth, and the Rams and the Patriots going back and forth. I don't want to see that. Let us have a great Super Bowl, NFL. Please, pretty please, with sugar on top and some molasses too, and ice cream. Can you do that for us, please? Appreciate you guys watching. This is D. Marl, just now leaving the sports bar, taking my behind home, get some rest, because, hey, tomorrow we back at 'em. Y'all definitely gonna hear from me again. Let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about everything. Today, we're talking sports. Tomorrow, or sometime in the middle of the week, I'm gonna hit you guys with some serious stuff, because that's what it's about. We diversify. We talk about everything. And that's just what it is. Appreciate you guys. Anyway, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button to start subscribing to your boy, and make sure Y'all remember, stay easy, be safe, and I'll get back with y'all soon. 1.